Hey, I'm Pascal from Orangepixel and welcome to another video. What? Graham, I see you are recording a new video. Can you close in on the fishies? Okay, so Graham is on the Discord, good buddy of mine. He's usually the weird guy in the back, the original one, the OG. Just not sure how he knows I'm recording a video right now. That's weird. Oh, wait, hang on. No, even closer. Wait, never mind. I'll do it myself. Never mind. I'll do it myself? Wait, what? Okay, so let's just do the video, I guess, after the intro. So mostly again an unedited video, just like last week. Just pressed for time these a couple of weeks. This week we can all blame the Graham in the Discord. He was visiting, doing a European trip with his wife. He comes from South Africa, so he's not around in Europe that often. He's not here often. We met before a few years ago. We weren't planning on meeting this time because of a lot of stuff. But yeah, we managed to squeeze in a meet. So right now I'm recording this before he is actually here. I got a 20-30 minutes to have this done. So it's good. It's going to be fun seeing him. He also did the writing, or helped with a lot of the writing on Residual. That's how we met. And if you didn't like PDB, the little robot hovering and cracking all these jokes and all that, blame him for that as well.
If you die, does that make me captain?
It's going to be fun when he gets back from his European trip. All right, I found myself in a little situation this week. Regulators, launching next week, 21st. I have that date set in Steam. Once it's set and you're that close to the release date, it's like set in stone or in metal or whatever. It's not gonna change. Problem, the release build is not approved yet. Oversight on my part. The playtest version is there, it's live, it's approved because I've been using that for beta testing in the Discord. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool bugs came out of that. Well, a lot of bugs came out of that, and it was cool to solve most of them. And then last week I noticed that I had an issue. Or actually Steam mailed me if you got an issue. The game isn't approved yet, which means it's now Monday. I tried to I submitted it first time last week. It got they didn't approve it because it has 2-player local mode, but in my mind that was one gamepad, one keyboard, and something went wrong in the pause menu if you played with 2 gamepads. A very minor thing. It was like 2 minutes to fix it. They also mentioned something else. That was also very... Oh yeah, the version number. On the title screen it said dev build version 00 whatever. And it's going to be a release, so they don't like that version name. So I had to rename that. Minor stuff. They could have approved it and I could have fixed it and it would have been live at the same time. Now I had to fix it and resubmit it. And that's where something went wrong in the Steam system, because it's currently not in checking status. It's still in the status that I have to do something, but the button was pressed and the button isn't there anymore. So I cannot resubmit it right now, and it doesn't seem like it has been submitted already. So yeah, there is some panic here. We have like a week, a little over a week to solve it. And of course, Steam is American, so time zone differences. Whatever I do now, I have to wait a couple of hours before they wake up and hopefully then tackle the issue. I have now had a ticket set up to fix this. And I had that set up on Friday, but they don't work in the weekends. So I have to wait now for Monday, later in the afternoon. Then they hopefully get active and activate the button and hopefully process everything. And hopefully it all gets approved before the week ends. I'm just going to continue like it will be all okay. I'm just going to continue sending out press release stuff to influencers and press keys. They can play the playtest version. We're just gonna, yeah, let's just imagine everything will work out fine before it's the 21st. So that's a little bit on my mind right now. There are still a couple of bugs I need to fix on Regulators this week. Minor stuff. Usually that takes me like 1, maybe 2 hours in the morning. And then it's back on Space Grunts 3. I've been doing some cool stuff on that in regards with raycasting or field of view. Raycasting, field of view. Mixed into one thing. So that now means if you can't see around the corner, which you can't, then there will be shadow drawn there. And I did some tinkering here and there, and I wanted to add this to my games like many times before, but never got it working, never had the time to invest into figuring out why it wasn't working. Now it has been, I had a week, a couple of days, got it up and running. Then I also improved it by casting sort of line of field, not really shadows, but crates and items that you normally can't see through will cast like sort of shadows on an area, so you can't really see what's happening there as well. Anyway, it looks pretty stunning, so I'll do a little bit of editing just to show you a clip of that. Still gonna tweak it left and right, but it really adds a lot to the game already. That game is still set to go into turn-based festival first week of June, so that's 3-4-ish weeks, 3 weeks, but the demo is pretty much ready. It has been approved. That one is ready to go. Steam Next Fest after that, the week after. I probably, most likely am pulling the game out of that one and delaying it for October. A little risky, but I think it's better than rushing stuff out now. The game is in a playable state. It really shows what the game is about, but I also know from now on I'm going to be adding a lot of stuff to the game, a lot of content, a lot of changes and things that spice up the gameplay, which will make for a much better which will make for a much better demo once the game goes live in a Steam Next Fest. Now for the turn-based festival it doesn't matter because you can enter those multiple times. It's also not a big event like Steam's Next Fest. It is on Steam, but not as big, I think, as Next Fest. And turn-based festival will be an interesting thing to have my game in there, because those are turn-based gamers that will be flocking to this. And I want to know what they think about the demo. So it will be interesting to see the feedback on that. And based on that, maybe I'm gonna change certain things in the gameplay or improve certain things that I would rather than improve and change before I push out a demo to Next Fest. So yeah, rough decision, tough decision had to be made, pushing Space Grunts at least one Next Fest further down the road, not pushing the deadline of completing the game. I still want this game to be done in June, July, and I want to start on the next game by then. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of hard work, and of course Regulators will be out the door, and then we'll have to do some patches and updates and fixes and tweaks and things like that, but it's gonna be minor work and then a lot of extra work on Space Grunts. Besides that, I'm going crazy with all the things I've been working on. Well, I'm not going crazy, it's a good thing juggling all these things. It's been fun. I've been pushing a new Asheville to the Google Play Store. Finally, I'm gonna push all the games, an update to all the games there. Recently did all the iOS versions, but I was running into a weird bug in Ashworld where the gamepad wasn't working. And every time I tested the game on my phone, it worked without a problem. Then I created a release build and it failed to notice the gamepad, and every button you pressed on a gamepad would register as the keyboard. This was mind-boggling. I had no clue, and I have had this bug for like more than a month now, so I've let Ashworld on the side and didn't continue with any of my other games because I just wasn't sure what was going wrong, and Space Grunts Regulators just had priority. However, for another game on a third-party market, I had to fix something. Residual would crash on the save games. Every time I tested it, it would run fine. I wasn't sure what the problem was and why the tests on those people who are doing the test on their device, it was failing. I had no idea why. I first thought it was that one party, but then we also tried to put this game on the Epic Game Store, mobile version. They also ran into that same issue. If two people run into the same issue, but I'm not running into it, there is something weird with that version, that distribution version. Took me a day or so to figure out. It was the new libgdx build platform or build system, Gradle files. I just blindly copied all the new stuff into my project. So far worked fine for PC and iOS, but on Android, they now by default used ProGuard and minify your code, which really takes all your code that's very readable, compresses it, everything that's not needed is thrown out, everything that has a name like this will be shortened to maybe 1 or 2 characters. It does things to your code. And I copied that part over, but I didn't copy the exclusion of the gamepad stuff. So gamepad code was also completely crushed, mangled, and just didn't work anymore. And on Residual, the save game file, using JSON to take your code and save it and dump it like it was exactly like source code. It dumps your source code into the save game, the object of your save game. I'm hoping not to become too technical in these videos, but anyway, if you rename stuff, the save game file isn't called the same things as you expect them to be called. So save game crashed on things. And honestly, I don't think that should happen, but it did. It doesn't matter why, it doesn't matter how it happened, it caused the crash. And then I figured out ProGuard, that new build system for libgdx. ProGuard isn't new, but using it is. I probably blindly copied that into Ashworld as well. And I've 100% knew that the gamepad code has never or should always be excluded from ProGuard. So then it clicked. I figured out that's the problem with Ashworld, and that's the reason why Gaunt of Power on my phone worked and Residual gamepad worked. There I had those right lines, but in Ashworld I forgot it. So now I know. Ashworld is now submitted to Google Play. I'm waiting for them to approve it. If it passes, goes completely through their process. We're going to push all the other Android versions, updates. A lot of these games have gotten updates in the recent months because of third-party networks where I was placing my games. So there's a lot of updating to be done. That's going to be like evening work or maybe on a lazy Sunday instead of me hanging out on my sofa and falling asleep. I better keep my brain active and do a little stuff on the laptop. So that's going to happen over the next few months as well. Update all those mobile versions. Because somebody mentioned on last week's video in the comments, I hadn't noticed it myself, but the Epic Game Store now has my games. And on the feature front page, actually I can show you, let me look up. Again, English, Dutch brain. Let me see, Epic Game Store, Epic Games. It should, yeah. Look at the featured up there. This is Space Grunts right here. Neoteria is my game. And we have Gunslugs, which is pretty cool. No idea yet what it does for my revenue. We'll find out over time. But it's cool that your games are being shown and featured and pop up left and right. So that's a lot of cool stuff happening. And that's also a lot of things I've been doing in between my big projects, making sure all these mobile versions are up and running everywhere. PC versions are also spawning everything everywhere. We have them now up on GOG, so that's pretty cool. I'm looking into the Epic Game services for PC, for the Epic Game Store on PC. If you have a Steam game that has achievements and you want to release that game on Epic Game Store, you need to implement achievements. That's a rule Epic has. So I need to figure out how to implement those achievements system into my games. I'm partly up and running. I have a bunch of things up and running. There is somebody who already figured this out, so I could download that source code and try to make it run. I'm still running into a couple of bugs, but I should hopefully have some time to fix those in the next few months. And that means all my PC games will also be moving to Epic Game Store. There's just a lot of stuff going on. And then I have the main games, and I'm probably still forgetting about various things I've been working on. Switch, Gaunt of Power, a demo version. We never released Switch demos. Sirius Lion, who I work with for the console ports, he always wanted to do demos. I always said, I'm not sure if that even makes sense. I know other developers do it, but I never heard anything about what it does to your numbers, your sale numbers. Does it help? Does it hurt? Does it damage? Does it what? We're gonna find out. Gaunt of Power has demo stuff built in, so it was very easy to make the Switch demo. It's ready. I just did a sale for Gaunt of Power on Switch. I want to wait for that to be done, which I think is this week. It's 12, yeah, probably this week. So yeah, we're gonna push a demo there and see if it actually cranks up the sales numbers. Nintendo Switch sales numbers for Gaunt of Power has pretty much died off now. So this will actually be a good test. If we release a demo and sales numbers go up, then the demo is interesting and worth it. And otherwise, it's probably not worth it. If it doesn't do anything to sales numbers, a free demo is not worth it. That's really what we come up to. So if it works out, we'll see. I'll let you know. Also, had some questions about this pinky blackness thing that I have been showing for the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I hurt my finger doing something stupid. Vacuum cleaner. Not that it got in. I was vacuum cleaning and then I got stuck underneath a table and this shoved under like what? And then it was very tiny. It was a lot of cursing for a minute and there was a very tiny speck of blood, but everything else was underneath my nail. It was very tiny, but it shows for months now. It is slowly growing out. So I'm not turning into a gothic in like a very slow manner. That would be cool if I'm now slow. No, I'm not. Just a little tiny accident, nothing to worry about. I'll survive. All right, final thing before I forget, my own reminder, because if this video goes live on Thursday, I'll be too late, but I might still make up for it. A future me for Thursday. I hope you have not forgotten that last Tuesday was your wedding anniversary. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna remember that. Married for 6 years, been together since 2007, almost 20 years. So yeah, happy anniversary day, and if I forgot, remedy that. All right, that's it for this week's video. I've been talking a lot. I think I can do all of this unedited, so that saves me again a little bit of time this week. I want to thank you for watching. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. If you have anything to add, drop them in the comments below. If you have nothing to add, you're one of the idle watchers, but you want to help me get these videos noticed by the YouTube algorithm, then in the comments, drop a happy anniversary. And maybe Aline, add Aline to it as well. Then these comments are for her, for sticking up or dealing with me for so long. All right, thanks for watching, like, subscribe, all that stuff. See you next week. Bye.